Guys, welcome back to my craft room and back to another DIY. Now this one's not a wreath per se. I know I've been doing so many wreaths lately. But this one is a coastal theme, and it's a very subtle but not subtle coastal coastal decor item. So it's kind of like hidden but in your face. Hopefully that that makes sense. Probably not. But basically it's like something that if you're really looking at it, you can tell, oh yeah, that's a very beachy item. But if you're not really looking at it too closely, you just think, oh wow, that's a really pretty decor item. So, on to the DIY. With the picture frame, you can use a Dollar Tree picture frame, you can use a thrifted picture frame. I ended up getting this picture frame from Hobby Lobby in their clearance section, and it was when they had their home decor, I think that's what they call it, section 70% off, and I ended up getting this picture frame for $2. And I've been hoarding it, like trying to figure out what the best idea to use it for is. And finally, I think this one is the winner. It ended up kicking butt. So for this picture frame, I ended up having to cut off all of the excess paper that was on the back, and then also had to remove all of the staples. It had little corner things I had to remove. So make sure to really check your frame and see how much work you have to put into it, because sometimes it's just not worth it. But for $2, I was thinking, heck yeah, I'll be, I can do a little bit of extra work there. Otherwise, if you want to turn this into a Dollar Tree DIY, definitely can, because a lot of the stuff you can find at Dollar Tree. I think just the paint is what you can't find. And the buttons. But you can use normal buttons. You don't have to use special buttons. So anyways, I am taking some pattern paper. I ended up using an 8x8 kind of under the sea pack of paper, and using 1.5 pages to cover my frame. And if you wanted to, you could use a 12x12, you could use an 8.5x11 if you're using like an 8x10 frame. My frame was just a very strange shape, so I ended up having a line, but it doesn't look too bad. And if you really wanted to cover it up, you could put a photo there, you could put a seahorse, or, anything you really wanted to if it really bothered you that much. But when you look at it from afar, you don't even notice. Don't worry about it. And then for the back, I had to, well, I didn't really have to, but I wanted to make sure my frame was secure in there. So I took some cardstock and I just did 1-inch strips and I put it on there with some hot glue, and that was perfect. It held it in. It made it look a little bit more classy instead of, some raw wood edges on the back. But no one's gonna see the back. So once again, you don't have to work that hard. For the wreath part, I used a grapevine wreath and I just took some blue paint. I did a more, I would say, more white blue than dark blue, because I wanted it to be a little bit more coastal looking. So not quite pastel, but the light blue really kind of gave the coastal vibe. And you could change the color to anything you really want to, and even make this a different kind of decor item. It doesn't have to be coastal, but I wanted to theme this one around it because the person it's going to has a lighthouse / beach themed bathroom, so I wanted it to really kind of fit in there. So that is why everything for me is coastal. And I personally love the look of coastal decor. so pretty, but you know, if that doesn't fit, oh, if that doesn't float your boat, aha, aha, then, you know, change it to whatever you want. Now, we're going to take some burlap. I have this burlap from a friend, a little package they sent me, what, 3 years ago? But you can just use the burlap ribbon at Dollar Tree and it would still be fine. You're just going to cut up little strips, fold it in half, and then fold those halves into the center. If that makes sense. Just to create a kind of petal shape. Once you get your hand into it, you'll realize. And then you put the petals together in either 4s or 5s to create a flower. Then I used some anchor buttons that I had in my stash. I found them in Hobby Lobby, but if you wanted to, just go to the Dollar Tree and pick up some normal buttons. White would look really good. I don't think they have a light blue, but you could always paint the buttons and turn them into a light blue. Let me think. You could take images off of some cards or those little banners that they make or garlands and, you know, put like a flamingo or lighthouse or, you know, whatever theme they have going on and put those on there, and that would work. Next, I'm going to take a strip of that, the rest of my burlap actually, stash buster, and I cut it into 3s and I take it and braid it, which I did in a previous video on another wreath, the rustic wreath, and I just want to keep the trend going because I love how it looks. Plus it gives a little bit more stability, I feel, because it kind of distributes the weight a little bit differently. But you do need to pull on it a little bit just to make it kind of fill out a little bit more. You don't want it as scrunched up like that. So to put it on there, I thought, oh, maybe I'll just stick it around the center, you know how kind of we do with most wreaths. But I realized that the weight distribution, it probably would be a better idea to put the ends on either side of the picture frame. So that, you know, it's not all in the center. And then that way I could have room to put my wreath hanging from the center from the back, because I was going to put on the front, but I figured it would be a lot better if it hung from the back. So I just put the center of the rest of the burlap ribbon. I had done 4 strips and I only need 3, so I had an extra strip to hang on my wreath. But if you're using the burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree, then you don't even need to really worry about that. You can just, you know, braid the wild ribbon and then have an extra set of ribbon to put your wreath on. So I just put a layer of hot glue down just about every time it turns, just so it's a little bit more stable and it holds onto that wreath very nicely. But I didn't want the wreath stuck on there, so I left that hanging, and then I put on the little flowers that we made that were made out of burlap. And I think it turned out so cute. I love it. I'm kind of, you know, like, maybe that should stay in my house. But I don't have anywhere to hang it, so. Plus, our bathroom isn't beachy themed. But I get to enjoy it until, you know, it goes to its new owner. So, that's always a joy, right? Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me today for this coastal decor item. I hope you're having a crazy day. Good crazy, not bad crazy. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!